Let's say Sam has an apple, Abby has a pen. Sam wants Abby's pen, and Abby wants Sam's apple. Boom, easy trade, everyone's happy. But what if Abby doesn't want an apple? And what if she wants a cookie instead? Now, Sam has to find someone who wants an apple, has a cookie, and is willing to trade. Then Sam has to take that cookie back to Abby for the pen. Sounds like a lot of work, right? That's called barter. It works, but only when people want exactly what the other has. In real life, it gets complicated fast. What if Sam wants a house, but all he has is 1,000 apples? They rot. Homeowners dislikes them, and he has to move 1,000 apples around. Oh, and Abby's pens? Sure, they're useful, but let's be honest. No homeowner wants that many pens in exchange for a house. So what did people do? They started looking for something everyone would agree has value, no matter what. They needed something that was hard to get, easy to carry, wouldn't go bad, recognizable by everyone, could be divided into smaller pieces, and that is how money is born. So people started using different materials that had those qualities and as a new way to trade. Salt worked, shells worked, silver worked. Sometimes they even used cows or dried fish, and for a while, it was good enough. But over time, problems showed up. Why did salt, shells, and silver all fail as money? Not because they looked weird or tasted bad, but because people figured out how to make too much of them. When money becomes easy to make, it becomes easy to lose trust in it. That's inflation. The silent killer of value. Salt was once rare, so were seashells, especially deep inland. That's why people used them like money. But then came trade. Boats brought shells by the ton. Salt production exploded. Suddenly, the market was drowning in what used to be valuable. Silver was better. It was shiny, rarish, and harder to fake. People minted coins with it, traded with it, stored value in it. But silver had its own flaws, too. Big mining discoveries made it too common. Its value swung wildly, and it tarnished, it corroded, and even wore down just from touching other coins. So Sam and Abby and everyone else decided to use gold as money. Why? Because gold was rarer than silver, harder to mine. It never rusted, never tarnished. It didn't wear down over time, and it held its value for centuries, and it could be divided, shaped, or flattened thin enough to carry in your pocket. Everyone wanted it. Gold worked great until it didn't. Carrying gold around was heavy, and people were scared of losing it. So banks said, "We'll hold your gold. In return, we'll give you a piece of paper that says, this paper, this much gold." Now, Sam could buy stuff with that paper because everyone trusted that it represented real gold sitting in the bank. But then something changed. One day, government said, actually, this paper doesn't represent gold anymore. You can't trade it back for gold. But don't worry, you can still use it. People kept using the paper anyway because they were used to it. They still believed it had value. From that moment on, money was no longer backed by anything real, not gold, not silver, just promises that governments would be responsible, that they wouldn't create too much money. But governments started printing more and more, and the more money there was, the less each one was worth. Wait, if they can make money from thin air, how do we know it's still worth anything? Good question, Sam. When money becomes just promising papers, you start to wonder, what even is money now? And can we do better? You know what the banks did? They let people borrow money, even when they knew those people might not pay it back. Those people signed a note that said, "I promise to give the money back later," and guess what? The banks took that piece of paper and pretended it was real money. Then they made more money based on it, like magic money from promises. But magic money doesn't stay magic forever. When banks made more and more of it, the money everyone already had started to lose its power. Sam used to buy a cookie with one paper dollar. Now he needs 2, then 3, then 5. His money didn't disappear. It just couldn't do as much anymore. The cookie didn't change, but the money got weaker. Abby felt it too. Everyone did, but no one could stop it because no one was in charge of the magic anymore. In 2009, when banks were creating money like crazy, just like we talked about, people were losing homes, jobs, and trust. Sam noticed his savings were shrinking. Abby couldn't even afford her usual apples. Everyone was asking, like, why do we have to pay for their mistakes? And maybe somewhere deep inside the minds of people, there was a wish for a kind of money you could truly own, not something someone else could freeze, block, or take away. Imagine this. You want to send money to your friend, but then a bank steps in and says, "Nah, I don't like your friend." Yeah, I know it sounds silly, but it has happened. In 2010, WikiLeaks was cut off from donations. People tried to send money, but banks and payment companies blocked it. In 2022, people donated to a peaceful protest in Canada. Next thing they knew, their bank accounts were frozen. Apps like PayPal can freeze your money if they don't like what you're doing, even if you did nothing wrong. So Sam and many people may ask, is this money really mine if I need permission to use it? People began to dream. What if we could build a kind of money that just works on its own without banks or any middlemen? And then in 2008, a mysterious person or group named Satoshi Nakamoto wrote a small paper, just 9 pages. It was called Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Sounds fancy, right? But the idea was simple. Let's make a kind of money you can send to anyone, anywhere without asking for permission. Like handing them a coin, but over the internet. But wait, there was a problem to solve. If you send coins on a computer, what stops you from copying them? You know, like how you can copy a file or send the same photo to 5 friends. That's called the double spend problem. And it was a big deal. If you can copy money like that, it's not money anymore. So how did Satoshi fix it? Well, let's say Sam wants to send Abby a coin. The Bitcoin network checks if he really owns that coin. If yes, it writes the transaction into a big public notebook called a block. Many blocks get linked together and you can't go back and change them, so people call it the blockchain. Once the transaction is written, Sam can't send that same coin again. The notebook remembers everything. Okay, picture this. You're at a bowling alley. You roll the ball, hit a few pins, and guess what? You don't hold your points in your hand. The scoreboard does. That's kind of how Bitcoin works. You just own them because the scoreboard, shared by thousands of computers, says you do. And no one can cheat and say, actually give me extra points, because every time a point is added, the whole system checks it. Then locks it in forever, just like your score in frame 5. Once it's there, it's there. And remember that time when Abby needed 5 pieces of paper to buy a single cookie? Not because cookies got yummier, but because those banks just couldn't stop creating more money based on nothing but a bunch of promises. But Bitcoin, it's hard-coded. Only 21 million will ever exist forever. And unlike banks that keep creating money faster and faster, Bitcoin does the opposite. It slows down. Every 4 years, the system cuts the new supply in half until eventually there's almost none left to create. And one more thing, you really own Bitcoin. Unlike your money in the bank, no one say nope when you try to use your hard-earned cash. You can send it to Snow White, right? Who's organizing a secret fund against her evil stepmother. That's what Bitcoin is about. A money that follows rules, not rulers. So what's the deal with all of this? Am I telling you to go sell all your cookies, apples, and your emotional support air fryer to go all in on Bitcoin? Not really. Look, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just some guy on YouTube. And like your mom probably told you, don't blindly follow strangers on the internet. Use your own wisdom. This video, just a friendly reminder not to stop asking, what am I actually using as money? And hey, maybe you even hate Bitcoin. Maybe some guy wouldn't shut up about it at that one party, and now you flinch every time someone says blockchain. I get it. Even if Bitcoin's not your thing, it's still a powerful reminder. A reminder of what money should be, what we should expect from anything we trust to hold our life's work. Because even if everyone believes something has value, if it can be copied, printed, frozen, or changed on a whim, is it really money or just a story we're all too afraid to stop believing? Anyway, subscribe. You made it this far, so we might just get along. See you in the next one. Peace.